Hits and Crits.
What's up, Hits and Crits family? Welcome to this unit premiere video. So now's the time. Tomorrow, the Harma Vanguard and the Winterfell Guards will release and be open to the public. When you pre-ordered, you are able to, those guys are able to be sent out tomorrow. So at that point, really have to say thank you for Sclap Wargamer, which collaborated with us on bringing those guys as soon as possible to my doorstep. So yeah, so let's jump right into it. We actually did a unit reveal video a few weeks back, which is linked up to the in the right corner, which you can check out. Because what I want to say is all the stats, all the numbers, all the stuff we said in this video is correct and is valid. So everything we assumed at that point, which was only 2 little points we did not know, is true and correct. So let's start with the Winterfell Guards. Jump right in. So the Winterfell Guards, I really love the artwork on the front. It's really brutal. It's yeah, I really like. It's even blood, like blood on the blade everywhere, and yeah, I really like this thematic unit. It's just something that I think everyone missed a little on the Starks. So yeah, so basically on the back we see there's that one attachment in there. We have 4 different sculpts for the guards and 1 bannerman. So let's check that out. Let's get rid of that. Oh, great tray, right? And this one will be the miniatures. So the miniatures, let's get rid of the cards for now. So this is basically it. This is what we get in the box. Let me get rid of the shiny, and yeah, let's take a deeper look into what we will receive from a sculpt and design perspective. So let's start with one pose we well know. This is the pose which is really similar to this Swarm Brothers, which we all love and like, or most of us. So this one is pretty similar, a little bit different. He's holding that blade a little bit different, but I really have to say this sculpt is so detailed, and like all the pouch and the leather and the armored boots, it really looks great. Right, and he's doing his war cry, running into battle. It's a really dynamic, brutal, offensive pose, and I really like that. So let's jump to the second one. Second one is similar, but now this one is even more dynamic because his legs are like moving, or he's stepping forward, right, going into battle, also screaming, also like doing his war cry, holding his sword, about to slash something. So what I really like about the guards, especially when you compare it to something like Gold Cloaks, which also released recently, is they on the guards they put certain details on each and every sculpt to differentiate from another, to stick out a little. So the other one, he did not have fur on his back. This one has like a fur on his shoulders, or like a fur coat on his shoulders, and I really like that. So they look pretty much the same, but these little details really makes them stick out, especially when they are on a tray together. So yeah, love it. So third one, also again, you can, in this one, let's start from the front. He's holding his sword, also in a really dynamic manner, also stepping forward, also screaming like crazy, right? So those guys are really intimidating or those guys are supposed to be intimidating to your opponent. So yeah. So on this one, you actually see some more detail of the armor, even at the back. On his shoulders, you can see through the armor, which you cannot see with the other 2. And I really think when those guys are painted, that will really pop. This will really be something that makes the unit look great. So let's go to the last of the four. This one actually did some or caused some discussion, right? A lot of people I talked to when we have seen the back of the box or the shots of the miniature were a little bit. They felt this sculpt looks a little weird, and it actually does, right? He's basically holding his sword like this from down below, and is holding it in a straight line away from his belly, basically. So you can see it right here. So, but I did some research actually, and this is actually a thing. So this way of holding a sword in battle is actually a thing, historically speaking. In medieval times, when swordmen built a front line and an enemy was charging into them, they actually had, some of them even had armor, which basically was able to fix a sword, or to basically put it into the armor, or there was a little like handle where you can put the sword into, or the handle into, basically connect it to the armor. So when someone charges into you, it basically runs, or you have your armor to support the charge, right? Or you can basically make the charge not as heavy. So this is a thing, and so I'm saying, even though it looks weird, I really appreciate the effort of making this historically correct. And when you put it together on the tray, it actually is cool when you put it to the side of the tray and they stick the sword out to basically like support maybe the side charge. It looks quite cool on the tray. So this is that guy. Yeah. So two more. Let's take a look at the Bannerman. The Bannerman is, or has a really cool pose. I seen that before, I guess. I think the Sworn Swords also have this kind of pose that the Bannerman has, but this one really fits the overall look and feel of the unit. What I really appreciate about this one is the detail on the wolf. The detail on the wolf of the banner is amazing, especially when you compare it to the older sculpts that came out for the Starks in the old box and the old big box, or even the ones a few years back. The only thing I do not like is the wolf is only on one side, but yeah, who cares, right? This is the side you will take a look at. So yeah, I also like it. So this is it on the sculpts for the guards, but we also have the attachment, the Winterfell Champion. So the Winterfell Champion has also a really dynamic pose, which fits the overall unit. This one has no helmet, so we can actually see the detail of the face. He also screams, and it's a thing for them, I guess. Yeah, also the blade looks great. So much detail on the sword, on the hands, the hair. But the thing that really sticks out for that guy is the fur coat. And especially when you paint that, right, whatever you use, if you are a really good painter and you do base coating and highlighting and shadowing and all that kind of stuff, it looks great. But even if you put in a speed paint on that guy, that will really look good. Especially with here, this chain armor and the fur, that guy will paint itself, basically. Yeah, so that's that on the Winterfell Champion. So let's talk, to finish that off, let's talk about the units once more. So the Winterfell Guards, and just to round it up, because we talked about a lot of stuff during the Winterfell, or not the Winterfell, the unit reveal video. So I just want to prove a point here. Now that we have the final card, is the final card now in hand makes me think, or makes me realize everything what we said is correct, in terms of this Winterfell supplies, what we talked about, while you control swords, this unit's melee attacks roll the highest attack value. This is really something that I also mentioned in the video. This is a thing that is a little bit underwhelming for this unit, since the Starks have so many ways to reach highest attack value. I mean, you have certain cards, you have Catelyn, right? So this is a thing which does not feel 7 points. All the rest, like the stats, also precision is really a cosmetic thing for me, but the whole stat line looks good. The improved defenses on horses, or the maneuver zone +1 defense, is really a good thing. I tried those guys twice, and in the first game it did not really matter, but because these guys were, I was able to flank something and pretty much rage my way through the battlefield. But in the second game, I pushed them down the middle, and those guys can really those guys have some sustain when played right with a tactics board. Those guys can really hold, and but what makes them really 7 points is the adaptive. So first things first, what I really appreciate about this is that it opens up so much opportunity to build new cool combos with 1 point attachments, with 2 point attachments. There's so much to do, and we talked about a lot of them in the video, but what I want to really talk about in this video is I tried 2 things. I tried Recon Karstark, and I tried Ramsay Snow with Reek, and both work really well, right? I think it's a common knowledge almost that Ramsay Reek is these 2 points are actually worth 2 points. But Recon Karstark, I never seen real play of Recon Karstark in the past, but with those guys, it really was a thing. The Stark Fury is really cool, because you basically go down ranks in the beginning, but there's a way to play around that, because you have the improved defenses when you need it. You just need to make sure not to be pushy about it, but it really worked well. This combo of having a unit hitting and remember the Stark deck with it, right? Precision, crit blow, and sundering on a melee attack. That was devastating for my opponent, and I can really tell it's a cool thing to have a unit which opens up that opportunity, those opportunities to build like the Death Star unit, and just for 1 point, right? This adaptive really makes them 7 points. All right, so another one, the Winterfell Champion, is an attachment which for 1 point, which can be really useful. The obvious thing is Umber Berserkers, but what I also really dig and what I really like is putting the Winterfell Champion into the Crenogman Bog Devils, right? Crenogman Bog Devils will, next to their order, giving them precision and rerolls, they will get crit blow, right, from the Winterfell Champion, and also enemies successfully charged by this unit become weakened. So a Crenogman Bog Devil unit will charge in, right, because they're fast and they're able to do it. So they charge in, they put out a weakened, they make an attack with critical blow, precision, and rerolls, then, because they don't need the weaken token off of their poison or their attack, they will put out a poison, right? So they already did with 1 charge. They did the weaken and the poison token. So your opponent, when he activates and he wants to do something, he takes 2 wounds, right, and is still weakened. So he really has to think about it. So I think this is a combo I really want to try out. But there are several other ways, right? I mean, the Winterfell Champion really fits in or can fit in several, but I think the obvious thing is really the Berserkers and the Crenogman Bog Devils. All right. So this is it on the Winterfell guards. So let's check the Harma Vanguard. Harma Vanguard, what I really have to say first is I was a little bit, or I wasn't really digging the sculpts at first when I just see the pictures. But now that I've seen the real thing, I really like the miniatures because they are so highly detailed, and it's actually not coming or it's not really popping or like showing when you check internet photos. But now I will show you those guys just from a sculpt perspective. Are one of the best, I would say, calf sculpts I've seen lately or in a while. Let's start with this one. So you can see with those sculpts, you can see a lot of detail of the horse, but also on the rider, the stitches. We know the stitches of those blankets already, but also the pouches and the code, the weapon right here, the code and everything. It looks just phenomenal, right? It's so much detail, and two of the Vanguard are actually women. And what I like about it, the women put a little bit more effort in making braids for their horses' tails. Both women did, and the guys didn't. So I really like that detail. Also, the face, the detail on the face is tremendous. Yeah, I like that one. Let's check the other one. Women first. This one is the other one, and you can see the braids on the tail of the horse. Again, I really like it, and those little details like those holes, and the hair of the horse, and the weapon. Again, the pouch, the boots. Those guys at Dark Sword Miniatures, they really do a great job. I mean, yeah. What can I say? Really love it. Really love it. So now the guys, this guy, also there's not way more to show. There's a little detail. He has a different equipment for his horse. You can see it right here. It's a little bit more fancy, or a little bit more, yeah, it's a little bit, yeah, just different. So you can also have some details on those miniatures which makes them differentiate, or being differentiated from another. This one has a really brutal sword, man. Looks like dragon glass almost. Do they? Yeah, do they? Yeah, they do, right? So, or they don't. I don't know. But this one, this blade is really brutal, man. It looks like a really sharp stone, like sharpened up. Yeah, and again, so much detail. This unit is really a fun thing to do, and again, the detail on the face is just out of this world. Awesome. And now the guy on the card. This one seems to be the leader of the pack. Yeah, he has a way like broader or wider coat, or bigger coat. Has like a great haircut, and also he has a little the equipment of the horse looks a little bit more shiny than on the other guys. I really like that. So yeah, so that's him. So he's the guy that should be on the front right of the tray, right? Or left, actually, from your perspective as a free fall player. So now that we see the sculpts, let's check the card. The card, as we have said in the video, this is the first 5-point unit in the game. The profile seems to fit the 5 points. The only thing, the armor 6 and the morale 7 is really a thing. I mean, like, looked at what they are supposed to do on the battlefield, I think it's fine for 5 points, right? Because those guys won't attack if they don't need to. They won't flank something. They won't. They would probably be on an objective if they are not needed in battle, and if they are needed, or when they are needed, they should be right behind something that needs the help. And with their order, they should, or it should be, or your opponent should be held off longer to not reach them, but reach the front line and stay in contact with those guys as long as possible. So yeah, so the most interesting thing on this unit is planned approach, right? Because this is something that you do not get from other units. This is something that which is not in the Free Folk Tactics deck. But as we discussed in the unit reveal video, you really have to think as a free folk player. You have to think, what do I take? Do I take Harma Vanguard, or do I take the Chariot, right? And for me, as not being a main free folk player, I do not really see. If I would have to choose between the two, I would probably go still for the Chariot. There is little what this unit can do what the Chariot cannot do. So yeah, but you know, drop your comments down below if you feel otherwise. I'm just saying, maybe all the free folk players out there can tell me what they think. But again, to the planned approach. So there are basically two ways of playing that. You could either use it defensively to basically block off or make some bad charge, or some charge that goes into your mag or your really important units. You could basically fluff that up. You could or soften that up with planned approach, because it will shut down stuff offensively, but it will also shut down stuff defensively, or like used defensively, like Final Strike, or what also an interesting thing is, if you play against Edit Star Commander and he has the Fury for the Fallen card, this is something which will be shut down, since this planned approach is always on this may not be targeted by enemy effects. So that unit may not be the targeted. May not be targeted by enemy effects or abilities. So the targeting is essential in this, and you really have to think, what is really targeting my free folk unit? And that might be stuff like Shield Wall, as I said, Fury for the Fallen. It might be something like what else can it be? It won't be, it won't work on Set for Charge, but there are quite some things that can be shut down by this, and I really have to rely on all the free folk players now building that into their free folk meta, because I from the top of my head I cannot think about a list which those guys really would fit into. And when I see what Free Folk is trying to do right now, or how they win tournaments, is basically Styre, is basically maybe a little Rattle Shirt or Varamir, and how all these armies, or how these lists are played out, I cannot see Harma Vanguard really supporting this. So yeah, I think time will tell, right? So we really have to see what those guys can do. Yeah, so this is it for the premiere video, and yeah. As always, when you think otherwise, when you have comments, when you want to share something, just put it down in the comments down below, or jump on the Discord and discuss it with me or the other critters in that community. And yeah, I hope to see you soon. We will continue with season 4 review still. 3 more to go. So bear with us. We had Easter holiday, so everything went a little was a little hectic, and life happens to the best of us. So yeah, but we will be there soon. So yeah, nothing more to say than until we meet again, roll those crits.
Come for the hits and stay for the crits.